Hello. Oh gosh, okay, I think I'm on. Hello everyone. This is my very first Facebook Live video, so I'm excited and a little bit nervous and a little unsure if I'm doing this correctly. Oh, Aurelia is on and watching. Okay, so I think that means I'm doing something right. Hello, everyone. Hi, I'm so glad to see all of you. Oh, hi, Olivia and Layla, I assume is maybe watching too. I am here with you today for Peace of Christ Church's Coffee with a Pastor. Except for I'm actually drinking tea. I don't know what y'all are drinking this morning. Hi, Brittany. Oh, good to see you. I am not a pastor at Peace of Christ Church, but I am a friend of Peace of Christ, and I'm really glad to be here today as I think maybe their first guest pastor. And good morning, Brandy. I have met a lot of you Peace of Christ folks. I've been a part of a couple of things at Peace of Christ, and I often feel like if I lived nearby, I would so be a part of Peace of Christ Church. I just love what you guys are doing. Hi, Jana. Good morning, Tiffany. This is kind of fun. It feels, hi, Michelle. It feels cool to be connected in this way, even though we're so far apart physically, but we get to like be together in this moment. I have been thinking about how this pandemic, hey Matt, this is like crazy times, and yet even though we're in this worldwide crisis, it's like regular life still has to go on. For example, we're potty training over at my house, and that's quite an adventure. Oh, hi, Elizabeth. Oh, good to see you. Oh, hey, guys. Yeah, I was just at Peace of Christ in November, getting to preach, and now that we're all in quarantine together, I actually get to feel like I'm a little bit more connected to you guys because we can see each other on video. Oh, anyway, back to potty training. So, my daughter just yesterday finally was able to say, like, I need to pee and go to the toilet. So it was a big deal over at our house. I don't know what y'all have going on, but that's our biggest news. Hi, Tori. But speaking of things that continue to go on in life in the middle of this worldwide pandemic, it's not just the stuff like potty training and laundry and cooking meals. It's also like, thank you, we need all the luck we can get. Michelle's potty training too. Yeah. It's like in the middle of this big pandemic, we also have all of our small C crises going on in our life as well. It's like even though the world is falling apart, people are still being diagnosed with cancer. People I know are still going through divorces. Like, I'm dealing with some of my own family dynamic stuff, and it's really hard. And the world doesn't just stop, right? Because there's this other crisis going on. Oh, hi, Rod. Oh, good to see you. And Fran. Oh, I'm getting so much potty training solidarity right now. That's so great. Anyway, so what I've been thinking about today is the fact that we have this great big crisis going on in the world, and and we have our own stuff still, like our own mental health stuff. We have our own family crisis. We have our own health stuff. And we have to deal with all of that and this huge trauma that's happening to all of us. So I thought what I would do is just share a little something that has spoken to me personally, and maybe it will speak to you as well. If you know me, you know that I really am really drawn to the divine feminine, like those images of God that capture the mothering nature, the feminine nature, the nurturing nature of God are so healing to me and to my experience. And maybe some of you feel the same way, or maybe for some of you, you haven't even thought about it. I don't know, but it's been a meaningful thing for me. So I'm going to share with you this oracle deck. This oracle deck I came across a little over a year ago, called the Divine Feminine Oracle. Has anyone else ever seen this? I love it. It's written by Megan Watterson. I follow her on Instagram, and then also the art down here to find her on Instagram. She's She Who Is the name of her artwork. So it's this wonderful little thing. And the other day, I pulled out the card on Ariadne. So I'm just going to show it to you because I think it's just beautiful. This is Ariadne, and I was first sort of captivated by Ariadne when I read Dance of the Dissident Daughter by Sue Monk-Kidd. Anyone else read that book? I love that book. And in it, she talks about the myth of Ariadne. And then I drew this card a few days ago, and it was so meaningful to me that I've just left it up on my altar. And I thought I'd share with you a little bit about it. If you don't remember or you don't know the myth of Ariadne, basically, she lives on the island of Crete. Her father is the king, and he puts her in charge of this labyrinth. And in the middle of the labyrinth lives a minotaur, this like beast that they have to feed human sacrifices to every 7 years, and Ariadne's like in charge of it. Until one day, Theseus comes along, and he has decided, like, this needs to stop, and he is going to travel into the labyrinth and defeat the beast in the middle. And so Ariadne gives him this red thread. You can kind of see it, hopefully. She's holding it right there. And he holds on to it as he, goes into the middle of the labyrinth to slay the beast, and then it allows him to find his way back out. And so what I love about this card is it says at the bottom, "My soul knows the way, and the only way out is through." The only way out is through. It reminds me of that song we did as kids, like with going on a bear hunt, like going on a bear hunt. And you come to the big grass and the forest, and you can't go through it, and you can't go under it, and you can't go around it. You have to go through it. You have to go through it. And I think that's the lesson of Ariadne, is that we can't go around these tough times. We can't go over them. We can't go under them. We have to go through them. Anyway, okay, what I want to read to you, what I want to share with you is what's in this little guidebook. It says, when your soul selects her card. I think my soul selected her card the other day, so I'll just hold it up while I read this to you. Ariadne is a symbol of the hope, the divine assistance, and the step-by-step process we can take to move through a difficult time or to confront an injustice in our life. She helps Theseus because he's daring to end a pattern of madness. He's daring to end a pattern of madness. Just think about that with me for a minute. That's a journaling prompt right there. Is there a pattern of madness that you need to dare to end in your life? I don't know about you, but that speaks to me. Okay. He's daring to end a pattern of madness. He's willing to do whatever needs to be done to stop the injustice. She gives him the tools to create his desired outcome. He is successful because of her, and she assists him because he acts with courage. Her message is that our courage is always in some way rewarded. When we seek to end an unnecessary pattern or routine that is no longer serving us, even though we initially created it in the effort to keep us safe, it can feel as insurmountable as facing a horned part man, part beast that lives in a dark maze inside of us. Pure terror. But the soul always wants our freedom. The divine is what liberates, not confines. It might feel like we can't find our way out of this situation, this maze, but we can. We trust that the soul knows the way through, and that spiritual support is given. Ariadne wants us to be brave so that she can fall in love with our actions. She is both a goddess and a human. She gets our fear, but she also knows just how much power we hold as well. I think that in the middle of all of this craziness and pain and confusion, there is also an invitation. There's always also an invitation. An invitation to evaluate and to discover the patterns of madness that we've been living and calling normal, right? Like before COVID started, what was your normal that you just accepted as normal? But actually, when you look at it, it's madness. And now you get the chance to change it. Like in the myth, right? They had just accepted that they had to sacrifice to this beast every 7 years because it was their normal. It was their normal, but it was madness until someone came along and said, it's time to stop. So I think there's an invitation in this time to evaluate what it would mean to go, or not to go back to normal, but to move forward into the new. But as I've been thinking about that, the reality is that there are these things we have the opportunity to change, right? And during times like this, it's so clear that there's also so much that we can't control. So it's both and. There are things that we have this invitation to change and to transform about our lives, and there's so much just waiting for something to change that we aren't able to solve or fix on our own. And so we have to kind of hold this tension at the same time. And so I find it interesting that we are in Eastertide right now, when there's so much death all around us. And so I also want to share with you a story of my own in which I didn't have the ability to change things. I didn't have the ability to stop the cycle of madness. I was mostly powerless. And what I'm thinking of specifically, Easter has been a really significant part of my life because 2 years ago I was fostering this precious baby girl. And then she left my care on Good Friday of 2018. And I was devastated and heartbroken. But then something happened that I didn't expect. And I wrote a little journal entry about it that I want to share with you. I wrote this on Easter of this year. And this is about those things that we don't have power over. This is about those things for which we're just waiting. In 2018, my Easter arrives in November. As unexpected as any resurrection, but instead of purple mountain laurels, fragrant with their sweet and rapid blooming, I walk among bare autumn branches, crunching over brown leaves, occasionally spotting a leaf still tinged red, undoubtedly stubborn against the biting wind and late to falling. I am far from spring, far from those early dreams that she would somehow return to me, far from hoping for anything more than my distant prayers to dust her separate existence with love and tenderness, hoping the cosmic cord between us could somehow mediate my warmth across the void of physical absence. I do not expect, at this late hour, to receive the phone call from a caseworker. I do not expect resurrection in the form of a broken leg and a bright pink cast. It is the broken femur that saves her. Otherwise, no one would have investigated. No one would have known to bring her back to me, my baby. I hate that she has been hurt, and I marvel at the brokenness that led to reunion. I marvel at the brokenness that led to reunion. And so this is a word to those of you who are in a place where you can't fix it and you can't change it and you're just waiting. And I guess what I want to say to you is that sometimes Easter comes in November. Sometimes resurrection happens in the middle of broken legs and broken bones and broken hearts. And so where you can, may you hear the invitation to evaluate your life and create something new. And where you can't, where you just can't, there's nothing you can do to fix it. May you rest in the knowledge that God's love is still there and will show up eventually when you least expect it. May you hold on to that hope. Thank you for tuning in. It's been great to see you. Yes, Brandy, foster care, I know, yeah. Love you all. Thanks for tuning in. Bye. Also, I'm not sure how